Today, July 18th, is Nelson Mandela Day.
In 2009, the United Nations declared Nelson Mandela International Day to recognize his contributions to peace and freedom.
He was a global icon for peace, justice, and human rights. He is known for his role in ending apartheid in South Africa and serving as its first Black president.
Apartheid was a system of institutionalized segregation and discrimination that was implemented in South Africa from 1948 to 1994. The population was divided into 4 racial groups, including Black, White, Mixed Race, and Indian. Individuals were required to carry documents indicating their racial classification. They were forced to live in separate areas with the best facilities and locations reserved for whites. This included separate schools, hospitals, public transportation, and restrooms. Mixed marriages were not permitted, and only white South Africans had the right to vote. Mandela was a leader in the African National Congress, ANC, which opposed the apartheid system of racial segregation. The apartheid regime responded with harsh repression, including arrests and killings of activists. Protests, strikes, and civil acts of disobedience don't always get things accomplished. In response to the violence, in 1961, Mandela co-founded the ANC's armed group to fight back against the government by damaging their facilities and infrastructure. In 1962, he was first arrested for inciting workers to strike and for leaving the country illegally. In 1963, he was charged with sabotage and conspiracy to overthrow the government. He was sentenced to life imprisonment and spent the next 27 years in prison. Because of domestic and international pressure, he was finally released in 1990. His imprisonment was a symbol of the struggle against apartheid, and he became a global icon for justice and reconciliation. He played a key role in negotiating the end of apartheid and was elected South Africa's first Black president in 1994. His legacy shows us that in a deeply oppressive and violent regime, unfortunately, nonviolence doesn't always work when fighting for social justice. Despite progress, there are still challenges like economic inequality, land redistribution, and social tensions. There are efforts of reconciliation and unity, including the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and government policies like affirmative action and Black economic empowerment. Nelson Mandela Day encourages people to dedicate 67 minutes of their time to community services representing the 67 years he fought for social justice. Let's celebrate Nelson Mandela today and remember to always promote peace, reconciliation, and cultural diversity.
As far as Yasser Arafat is concerned, I explained to Mr. Sidney that we identify with the PLO because just like our sons, they are fighting for the right of self-determination.